All right. Aloha, everybody. Dimant Kalai Manaole. Here to give everybody an update as to where we are right now in litigation before the courts. So let me just give you an update on the Eric Ryan case. 2 days ago, today's Saturday, August 22nd. Yeah. Uh, 3 days ago, on the 19th, the Judge Park had denied all of us who sought to intervene in the Eric Ryan case. She agreed on 3 of the 4 reasons that we sought to intervene. She agreed that we met those conditions, but she disagreed in a sense that she said that she trusted the state of Hawaii and its Attorney General's office and representing Kali Watson and Department of Homelands will fight vigorously for our right under the Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act, and that the federal government also said that they will fight vigorously for us, right? They will do the right thing. I don't believe that, but the judge believes that. It just tells me that the system protects itself, right? But that all remains to be seen. So I was kind of down about that. I made a short YouTube video to inform everybody about it. But now that things are changing, the winds of change are now in the air. I'm now able to give you an even better look about where we at right now. So that came in. I was disheartened. I was like, "Bah, come on, man." You know what I mean? We're the trust beneficiaries. We have every right to fight for our trust, right? And you know what? It's not going to be the last time I do that. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to be there every time somebody steps up and try to act like they're going to try to take out the trust. I will continue to do that. I will continue to fight it. And we learn from this. Now, one thing that is good is that I've always approached litigation like a minefield, right? If you think of a minefield, you don't know where all the landmines are at. And every time you take a step, there's a chance that you might get blown up. I believe no matter what, win, lose, or draw, we still win. We still win because what ended up happening is we're able to learn where the landmines are at. That brings me to my next point. Because, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, hold the presses. They thought they had the last word. But guess what would happen? Yeah, my other case that we took on the 8 defendants, we sued myself, Nani Peterson, and Dana Newman. Solid team. I love them guys. Shout out to Nani and Dana. Thank you so much for believing in the work that we do to stand for Lahui in the court system. Thank you for supporting and being there, right? So shout out to Nani Peterson. You guys see Nani Peterson and Dana, you give them your aloha. Because they're solid. They're standing for our people, right? When nobody else like do them, they stood with us. Okay. Moving on. I also want to give a shout out to all those nameless faces that's out there that have supported us, allowing us to be able to get the printing done. Probably like several $100s worth of printing, like maybe like $500 worth of printing. Both times that I tried to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, even at the 9th Circuit level, and also paying the cost of being able to ship these heavy boxes, like 55 pounds of paper in a box. It was just crazy. And so to all those who's out there who needs to remain nameless, to protect you, thank you for being there. You know, people ask me, how you do all this and get all this thing done? What I like to say is, I have a friend that has many friends. That's my answer. I have a friend that has many friends. So, to my friend, thank you so much for being there and coming in at the right time when we needed you most. And now the world is opening up. And why do I say that? Again, I'm hinting to something, guys. I'm hinting to something. So here it is. I can show you better than I can tell you. I have now in my hands right here. So let me see if we can get this in the screen. Right? You guys can see it for yourself right there. There you go, everybody. The case number 26-5355 filed in the United States Supreme Court. The first date is May 26th, but in actuality, it was just filed on the 20th of August, because this was the first date that I went try to file the petition that got sent back because it wasn't in compliance with the rules. And as you guys can see, the United States Supreme Court, baby, October term, Dimakalai Manaole petitioner versus the whole world. We got OHA, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, Hawaiian Homes Commission, the State of Hawaii, Hawaii Community Development Authority, Department of Land and Natural Resources, the Board of Water Supply, and the United States Department of the Navy. There it is, everybody. That's my petition that went into the court on a Rule 11. And a Rule 11 says that the court should intervene in the appeal that I have in the Ninth Circuit, that this is of such a major importance that the court should get involved. And so that's why we did that. How I learned about that was listening to the Trump versus USA oral arguments back in 2024, I believe, July 2024, June, July, somewhere around there. I woke up stupid early in the morning because the time difference was different, and Solicitor General Sauer was making a case for Trump in that issue. And I was wondering, how is it that Trump can get to the Supreme Court so fast when he never even get through the appellate process yet, right? The federal appeals. And I learned there of a rule called Rule 11. Rule 11 allows the court to take up an issue that is of national importance and put it on the calendar and have it heard. And that's what prompted me to get that idea that I could do that in this case. And primarily what I believe is ultimately, if you look at ground number 6, I believe the court is going to grant it just based on that alone. But we're going to see. We're not out of the woods yet. It's still too early to tell. But rest and assure that I am capable of being able to write whatever opposition that they come with. I can counter their opposition because I already anticipate what the answer would be. And one of them would be summary affirmance, is what they tell in the Ninth Circuit right now. So they kind of locked into that issue right there. So that's where we at, guys. That's where we at right now. We're in the United States Supreme Court now. You know, it's the second time in my life I had a case that went all the way to the United States Supreme Court. The first time was I won a Ninth Circuit issue dealing with due process rights for prisoners, and the state appealed it. The case manager at that time was Cindy Sandin, and the case is called Sandin versus Connor. You can look it up, 1995 decision, and that's the first time I had a case that went all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Unfortunately, somebody else argued it for me because it wasn't going to take me from prison to the Supreme Court and go argue it myself. Now, it's highly unlikely I'm going to be able to do it myself now. I believe I could possibly do it myself. I've been rehearsing and practicing and whatnot, but inevitably, somebody else probably going to argue it for me. But whoever does would have to sit down with me first. Because like I tell all the lawyers I ended up dealing with, you don't get to run my case, but I run my case. And either we're going to work together or you bounce in. Because I'm not going to let you flip my case to something else that is not, right? And not going to let you send me down a rabbit hole that I cannot get out of. So that's where we at, everybody. So while the federal judge had denied us intervention, rest assured, according to her, that the state and the federal government will vehemently defend the Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act. I have no hope that they will actually do that. And I believe they're probably going, in the end, make one deal with the Ryan guys and water down the act or whatever. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Only time will tell. I'd like to believe them, but I just had a conversation with a high-ranking official in one of the state agencies today. And I said, there's no trust by the trust beneficiaries of those who are entrusted with our trust, right? Those who have fiduciary duties to our trust. There is a lack of trust. And she was trying to tell me, get trust. No more trust, bro. No more trust. Because you guys always keep doing the wrong things and keep hurting us guys. So how are we supposed to trust you when you lie to us and you get us bogged down in bureaucratic BS and we cannot get nothing? 30,000 on the wait list? Are you crazy? Have anybody tried to apply for any of the loans and whatnot that OHA get to offer? Only the rich guys can get them. Us guys, we don't can get them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And, only time will tell. But if the United States Supreme Court takes this issue up, I believe we will prevail. And so that's where I'm going to leave everybody now. I thank you, everybody's out there. And I mostly want to thank my beautiful wife over here. She just came sit down. She's cooking shoyu chicken, miso-based shoyu chicken for us right now. So I'm going to be smashing right after this. I love my wife, and she put up with a lot of shit for me to be able to do what I do. And I do everything for Allah Hui. You see that right there? Right there. Right in the center. Mama Lahoi Kanavai. The law of the splintered paddle. And that's who we are. We are those. That was the first law of this nation. And that's the law that we live by. And aloha to Allah Hui. I also want to thank at this moment all those that came before us, of whose broad shoulders that we stand on today. The work I do today, it's not because I was some kind of genius and I think this up on my own. It's because of the work that our kupuna had done from time immemorial to now. So I honor all of our kupuna, my own kupuna, in a Manaole Kahiona bloodline. I honor my mother, all my aunties and my uncles, my cousins. I love all my cousins. By the way, I got the best cousins in the whole world. Even though we don't stay in touch on a regular basis, we were raised to love each other and to stand with each other. And so I love all my cousins, and aloha to all you guys that is affiliated with my cousins. Right on, right? And then also, I want to thank those who've been involved in the movement from way back, you know, there's a whole lot of names that's out there. You got Scipioane, you got Henry Noah. You have a whole bunch of leaders that's out there that's been involved in a movement from the get go. And so I acknowledge all of them, even though I'm not going to be able to tell all the names right now. But there's one name that sticks out in my mind that is a head and shoulders above the rest, on whom I feel indebted to and who has moved me the most in this movement, that has captured my heart and my mind and my ability to say this. I am Aloha Aina Mau Amau. And it's on my truck. If you see my truck, it's on my truck. Aloha Aina Mau Amau. And that is Haunani K. Trask. The late Haunani K. Trask, who has already gone on to Paul in 1983, when she stood loud and proud at Iolani Palace and declared that we are not Americans, that we are Hawaiians, and we will always be Hawaiians. And this is Ko Hawaii Pai Aina. This is our nation. I am Aloha Aina Mau Amau. And like the Americans in America believe in America first, and they stand for their country, and they believe in the red, white, and blue, and everything that stands for America, so we too understand that in our own country, even though America occupies us to this day. So aloha to all those that stood, especially those on the Mauna. I wanted to be on the Mauna, but I got my parole revoked and ended up in Halawa, and I was watching them from TV, and I was like, oh my God, I need to be up there right now. And so all those who stood on the Mauna and stood for the Mauna, we've been vindicated. Even though the director of Hawaiian Homeland said that's not our road, standing with Ige, supporting Ige, telling Ige, yeah, you're right, but this is not our road, because his other body over there on the other side from DOT, because they paved the road, that's theirs. Come on, bro. And the Hawaii Supreme Court smacked them down hard. If you guys read the ruling, it was a brutal ruling. And you notice the media never picked that up. They never talk about how brutal the ruling was. They kept it hush-hush, because we live in a state that is state-controlled media. And the Democratic Party control everything in Hawaii, right? Including the media. So if they don't like something come out, they're not going to do them. Which is why you don't hear about my case in the United States Supreme Court right now. Because the local media here is not interested in our story before the highest court in the land. You would think that they would be on it all day long. But they're not. Because they want to protect their bodies in the state. Downplay everything. No say nothing. No give them oxygen. You can't kill it, bro. It's already going to the national level. So you already lost the battle. So it is what it is, and we're doing what we're doing, and we're doing because we can, because it's the right thing to do. There's got to be an accountability to the state of Hawaii for the 65 years of deception by the Democratic-controlled state of Hawaii against Native Hawaiian and trust beneficiaries. 65 years of deception, bro. They told us, yeah, no worry, we're going to take care of Hawaiians, bro. We just like become a state in the union. They would never have become a state of the union if they didn't agree to the compact. And that compact said, you assume the fiduciary duties of the Hawaiian Host Commissions Act. And they said, yeah, no worry, we're going to take care of Hawaiians. Said, no. You're going to have to put them in your state constitution. Yeah, okay. We put them in the state constitution. And what they told Hawaiians from back then, stand down, Hawaiians, for the greater good of everybody. Just stand down. Don't worry, we got you. 65 years later, almost 30,000 still waiting on the wait list. Thousands more had died on the wait list, including my own mother. My own mother. That's why I refuse to be the second generation to die on the wait list. That's why I'm here now, and I know where I'm at right now, right? But you cannot deny us, bro. This is our land. This is our land. The 200,000 acres is our land. And you don't get to deny us over some bogus policies and procedures and rules and regulations. This is not a mortgage-based program. This is not a housing program. It's a homesteading program that doesn't include mortgage. We're not trying to be good Americans and get a picket fence and two-story house and whatever. We're not, hey, but give me 1/10, I good, but I'm going to build from there. Anyway, we're taking the fight to Washington, D.C., to the highest court in the land. And like I said, win, lose, or draw, we still win, bro, because we're learning every day. Every time we do these actions, we're learning. And then also, before I leave, for all those who supported us and decided to jump in the arena for the intervention in the Eric Ryan case, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for answering the call. You see, everybody, there's people out there, our own people out there, that's willing to stand and fight. And not only our own people, but even those with no cocoa, like my wife. My wife decided that she wanted to get involved as well. And she was able to come with an argument that was sound, right? So I'd like to thank Nani and Dana for joining that fight. I'd like to thank Carlene Maria of EC Trucking and Kanani, right? Her cousin Kanani, for joining the fight. Auntie Georgie Navarro for joining the fight. Auntie Kim Haupu for joining the fight. And for Loa'a for joining the fight. There was 9 of us that did it. And then I also want to give a shout out to the sovereign interventionists that also filed their own intervention motion to intervene. I'm really proud that that happened as well, and I filed to support them. I filed a document to support them as well, and so we're there. The Lahui will come and will stand. Hopefully, next time the kahea is made, we would have hundreds more come out, maybe thousands. I had over almost 30 people that when message us and asking to participate. Unfortunately, only 9 did, but that was good. 9 out of 28. I think that's 1/3. That's good. It's a great start. That says that we have a message and that our message is heard, and that the next time there will be even greater response to that. So thank you, everybody, for joining up and for supporting what we do. We do what we do because we believe in Allahui, and we believe in our country, we believe in our people, we believe in our language, we believe in our culture, and we believe in all those who stand with us. Whether you get cocoa or no cocoa, to me, it don't matter. Because I'm going to tell you guys the truth. You get people with strong cocoa, but you give them one rock in one pipe, and they will smoke all this what they get. They will give them away just one hit on a pipe. But we get people with no cocoa. Poi haole, poi kapani, poi pake, right? Poi popolo, right? That would stand and die with us to keep this Kanaka, to keep this our country. So to all those who stand with us and those who are us that stand with us, mahalo, 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 mahalo nunui to all of you. I have much love for all of you. And for all of you involved in the struggle, doing your part in the struggle, malama makua, puhakuloa, all that, right? Kahuku, right on. And I love and respect all of you. Auntie Maxine Kahaulilio, Uncle Ku Chin, who has passed. We honor your sacrifice, and Kaleo, Kael, Klekoa Kael, the professor, Maui, bro, a solid guy, you know, Kepa Kael, Io Kepa Kael, and Kalania Kea Wilson, the work that you guys doing on Moko Keawe, my tita Sybil Lopez over there in Molokai, with Kaya McDonald and all that, doing their stuff, you know. Hey, we get warriors on all the islands. Even Akain, Sherry Cummings over there on Kauai. Solid tita, you know, in the fight, involved in moving the ball forward for Olahui. And all those over here on Oahu, much love to all of you. We love you. And for those who have been involved in litigation against the state and its agencies to fight for us, mahalo to all of you. So, as you can see, I'm not alone. I'm not alone, bro. I stand on the shoulders of broad shoulders of those who come before me, including my mother. You know, everything I do from the morning I wake up to the time I go to sleep, there's not a day that goes by that I don't remember my mom, Geronimo. It's the only person I ever loved and feared in my whole life. And there's a reason for that. If you know Geronimo, you understand. But I honor her, and I honor my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, Samuel Kalai Manaole, and that's why I took his name to honor him. And I got married to my wife now on my mom's birthday, December 22nd, 2022. My mom was born December 22nd, 1935. I honor all of you. Thank you. Aloha, and be well. Peace, love, and happiness, y'all. I'm out of here.